Hello, everybody, and welcome to another special episode here on Milwaukee Beer Review. As always, I'm Josh.
And I'm Ross.
And today we are heading to Amherst, Wisconsin.
Sort of.
Kind of. These are beers we actually picked up from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, out of Central Waters Brewing Company. If you don't know, they do have a tap room in Milwaukee, which is awesome. A lot of the big beers they've been brewing show up in Milwaukee. Yep. We love going to Amherst, though.
Oh, it's a great place.
In fact, we plan to go again this year for their big Black Gold release. But what we're going to try today is two unique variants of their 25th anniversary barrel-aged Imperial Stout. Now, they've been releasing a bunch of different versions of this. Yep. If you're watching this, depending on when you're watching it, there might be 78 more.
Yeah. Yeah, I picked these up about a month and a half ago. I think since then they've done 2 other releases. It seems like they're doing one release every like 4 weeks, 3.5 weeks, somewhere in that time frame. So yeah, keep Central Waters' social media in line, and they'll do some releases, I think, throughout the year, it sounds like.
I mean, they're doing this different this year with a quarter century being around, which is cool. So we're going to try 2 unique variants of their 25th anniversary barrel-aged Imperial Stout. So the first one we're going to try here today is the one that is aged in Orange Caracao, or Caracao, depending on how you pronounce it. And it is their big 25th anniversary Imperial Stout, bourbon barrel aged. Yeah. So let's get a little nose on the first one. It smells bomb.
Yeah.
It smells really good.
The bourbon characters are coming through. I'm not really getting the orange. They mentioned that that's one of the big selling points of this. I'm not really getting like that orange coming through. It's mainly just the bourbon.
It's bourbon, it's sweet fudge, dark fruit, like traditional bourbon barrel-aged stout characteristics. Maybe a little bit of citrus if I'm really reaching for it. But I've got to be reaching for it to get it on the nose. And knowing it's there, 100%.
Yep.
Smells tasty.
Yeah.
Let's give it a shot.
Cheers.
Cheers. Interesting.
So the bourbon characteristics are there. I think there's something like, it doesn't really it's not full flavored. It's not as much as I was hoping for from on the nose. There's a little bit lacking on the path that you get on the nose. Still very flavorful. I just want more of it. I just want more something behind it to really bring it home.
So the front end of this, you do get bourbon, but then it very quickly evolves into this almost burnt char kind of character that kind of sits mid palate, and then out the back you get kind of this light stout bourbon sweet character out the back. But I do think that char note is a bit of a turnoff actually in this beer. It flips the script on it pretty fast. You get that nice bourbon hit up front, but then it just quickly turns into something that you're not expecting, at least based on what I'm trying here.
Now there's a slight orange-ish tinge to it, but it's not prominent. It's not what you were kind of thinking when you got it. It's tasty, but to your point, there's just something there's a bit of an off note to it.
It's good, but those characters draw away from it.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's interesting. It's not a bad beer. It's actually a pretty strong barrel-aged beer, but those notes are making me kind of second guess what I would rate this.
I mean, I think it's fair to say it's a slight off-putting note that you're getting to it. I mean, it starts off very solid, and you get that weird kind of, just to your point, burnt bitterness to it.
I don't know about off note, but it's unexpected, I guess, is more of the word for it. Okay, Untappd. Where are you going? Orange Caracao, Orange Caracao. whatever you want to say.
I think because I have very high expectations here, and I think this missed the mark a little bit for me. I'm going to go 3.5. I think Central Waters has much better barrel-aged beers, and I think that's where I may be being a little unfair to this beer because I know what Central Waters can produce, and I feel this is below what they can produce, but still a very solid score of 3.5 though, so that's where I have it.
I do think that's a good score. I'm actually going to go 3.75 on it.
Okay.
As weird as it sounds, I seem to be the more judgmental person of this beer, but I do like it. It's just some very unique characteristics to this beer that I really am enjoying. Specifically, that kind of flip to that char, burnt, like barrel note that comes through. And there is a bit of an orange citrus character, but it's super subdued. I like it. It's not in my top tier beers, though. 3.75 is still a good score, but not in a top tier beer category for me. For sure. Okay.
All right, so moving on, we're moving on to the blue label here. This one is aged 54 months in Weller barrels. So this is their base stout aged 54 months in Weller barrels. This one comes in at 14.2%, which is right in line with what we like. This is a no-nonsense beer, no adjuncts, no nothing. It's a barrel-aged stout in Weller barrels. So
54 months.
54 months. That is 12, 24, 36, 48, 4.5 years, because math is hard for me.
Dang.
So
that is crazy. Okay. Let's get a little nose on it.
All right.
4.5 years.
Right? Math is right?
Yeah, 2018.
Yeah.
Halfway through 2018.
Now this is more traditional than what I expect. You get much more of those bourbon characteristics coming through. Get a bit of that, like, not burnt sugar, but like, you know what I'm saying, like the fudgy vanilla kind of coming through.
Yeah, the nose is very bourbon forward. You get the barrel, you get the char, you get a little vanilla, a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of dark fruit. It's more spirit forward though than I think what you might get out of a fresh barrel aged stout. It smells good though.
Yeah.
It smells very bourbon
smells
forward.
what I like.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Try it out. Cheers.
Ooh. So, for me, and I'm curious what your thoughts because I heard of it there, but for me, this is where Central Waters really does a good job. Is when they're just kind of straightforward. They just skin a barrel and let it kind of do its thing within that barrel without too many adjuncts. I think this is where Central Waters really thrives, in my opinion. Unless their beer, unless the barrel kind of do the speaking. You got a bit of a fudginess, a little bit of vanilliness. You got good bourbon bite throughout the whole thing. A little bit soft up front, and then I think to me the big flavors in the back end of this one, which is somewhat out of the ordinary. But I really like that. I like what this produces. I like what this is. It's got a nice medium viscosity to it. So I think this one's really well done for me.
To me, this is just super consistent. Like I feel like front end to back end, this beer is very, very even keel. It's very in line. In line. It's. We're just talking about how much we should swear on this channel.
How much we
well,
don't.
There is one.
There you go.
It's very
Balanced.
It's very balanced. It's very consistent all the way through the beer. That was the word I was looking for.
There we go.
Consistent. It's very consistent all the way through, front to back. It's just solid. Great bourbon notes from the front all the way through the back end. You don't get a ton of barrel character. You don't get a ton of like vanilla, dark fruits, figs. It's just very like spirit and stout characteristics throughout it, but it's consistent all the way through from the front to the back. It's a good beer.
I really like this one. And again, like I really like Central Waters. I'm gonna be a little bit blunt here. Like I don't like the fact that they've kind of experimented with all these adjuncts and different flavors. For me, I think it's outside their zone. I get I get why they're doing it. I understand what they're trying to do, but for me, like when they just stick to the straight and narrow, that's where they really in their butter zone, I guess, for lack of a better term.
What?
Butter zone.
Butter zone?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a thing.
Okay.
I might make that up. And this to me is like in that zone. And I really like this one. I like what they did with it. I like it's their stout. It's a barrel. Here it is. It's very consistent. So Untappd, where are you going?
I think this is a 4 1/4 beer for me. I think it's really well done. Spirit is great. The Weller spirit's coming through. The bourbon is coming through really well. I'd like to see a little bit more vanilla, a little more barrel character out of it than what I'm getting. But I do love the consistency of it. I think this is a great drinking beer. It's very well done. For 4.5 years in a barrel, it comes through viscous. Like, it's not thin. It's not lacking for some of the traditional stout characteristics. And for all those reasons, I think 4 1/4 is a really good score for this. I'm edging on maybe bumping it up, but it's missing a few of those key characteristics that I like, so I'm going to give it a 4 1/4.
I'm right there with 4 1/4. I'm at a very solid 4 1/4. I think this is, to your point, like, yeah, it could use maybe a little something to get to that 4.5 mark, but we're saying 4 1/4 and we're justifying. 4 1/4 is a great score for a beer. So this is really good. If you guys have this laying around, I do think this would hold up to aging.
Yeah, for sure.
I really do. So I would maybe age it, but
it's held up to 4.5 years of it so far.
Fair enough. And I think we're kind of at the point now where it's good now, crack it open now, enjoy it now, because I think you don't want to risk missing out on this because it's a great beer. So I would say 4 1/4, but a fun couple of beers, fun series.
Yeah, and honestly, we've looked into some of the other ones. We haven't gotten a hold of every single variant that's come out in year 25, but we'll get some of the stuff later this year. I do think that maybe there's a little bit of an overhype on some of the things going on.
That's fair.
But these are two very good beers.
These are good.
I mean, they're fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's an exciting series. You might not want to go crazy out of your way to acquire these, though. I think there's beers that are better than these.
That's fair.
In the marketplace.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, that's my thoughts.
All right.
So, thanks for watching. Check us out on the rest of our social media channels. We are on Untappd. We are on Twitter. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We are also here on YouTube. So, like, comment, and subscribe. If you
Aggressive.
Well, sometimes you got to get aggressive.
Please comment.
Please comment. Oh, please, fans. Please comment. Let us know what you think. Have you tried either of these two? Are we completely insane? About our scores, not like if you know us in real life.
That's a good defense.
That is a good defense. Are we completely insane? Let us know your thoughts on these two beers in the comments. Otherwise, check out future videos. We've got a lot more content coming where this came from, and we'll see all of you in a future episode.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.